Shalom, Apostle Tahar coming back at you with this truth, giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Bahasham Rakah Quadash. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this ICBMs mentioned in the Bible. And what I mean by ICBMs is an acronym for Intercontinental Ballistic Missiles. See, the scriptures are written in code, and you can't understand these scriptures unless the Most High give you the spirit to break the code. When you read these words, these terms in the scriptures, then you get to understand what the Bible is really talking about. You know, past, present, and future. Like you got this clown Vocab Malone, which he has no clue as to what the Bible is talking about. He doesn't understand. You know, not just him, the rest of you wacky ass Christians that, you know, you people are dying. You know, your religion, your Christianity is dying a fast death. You know, you don't understand reincarnation. You don't understand what hell is, and hell is the grave. It's also a condition. It's not at a place that the Most High sends your soul or your spirit to burn forever. That's that old, you know, Christian dogma BS. And reincarnation is also mentioned in the scriptures. But I'm going to focus on the missiles that are going to be shot on America. And, you know, like if you go to Isaiah, the 13th chapter, from the first verse to the end, it speaks about how America is going to be destroyed, but it's given to you in code. Because Isaiah, when he received this prophecy, you know, when he saw what went down, he actually saw America, Babylon the Great, being destroyed. Not no goddamn Vatican City. Anyway, I'm just gonna go into the scriptures, and I'm gonna just say this: any of you guys that's in Great Millstone that, you know, can't put up videos, just leave Great Millstone. You know, get with another camp, or just, you know, go your own way. Anyway, I'm going to start at Psalm 7:13. It says, "He hath also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors." So the persecutors is code for you so-called white people. You know, mainly in America and around the world, you have a world system, and you Edomites were set up to, you know, persecute us. In Psalms 18 verse 14, it says, "Yeah, he sent out his arrows and scattered them, and he shot out lightnings and discomfited them." And you're going to be discomfited on that day when the Most High destroys this place. And it's going to be in the midst of what they call the coming World War III, which is the War of Armageddon. You know, anybody that's involved, or any country that's involved in this war, you're going to be partially destroyed. But America, which is Babylon, will be totally destroyed. It says in Psalm 58:7, "Let them melt away." You know what? I'll just stay here. I was going to go a couple of verses up, but I'll just read this one verse. If if you can, or at your leisure, you can read Psalm 58, starting from the first verse, and that's also written in code. But anyway, the seventh verse says, "Let them melt away as waters which run continually, when he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows." So where in history has anyone ever got shot with an arrow and melted? It's talking about missiles. Like I said, this Bible is written in code. That's why people that try to break these scriptures down, they can't. If the Most High haven't opened up your spiritual mind to understand these scriptures, you're not going to get it, man. I'm going to read it again, Psalm 58, verse 7. Let them melt away as waters. Let them melt away as waters, which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be as cut in pieces. Psalm 77, verse 17. The clouds poured out water, the skies sent out a sound. Thine arrows also went abroad. That's why I gave this video the title of ICBM. ICBM mentioned in the Bible. And like I said, ICBM represent intercontinental ballistic missiles. That's why it said, thine arrows also went abroad. This is Psalms 144, verse 6. Cast forth lightning and scatter them. Shoot out thine arrows, which are the missiles, and destroy them. Because how is this place going to be destroyed? By thermonuclear destruction, by the ICBM missiles. Isaiah 5, verse 28. You see, the reason why the Most High, set it up this way is because he wants a major event to take place, bigger than any event in the history of the planet. Because this is because we were brought over here against our wills to serve slavery under this devil. So now it's his time, to get his comeuppance, and he's going to get it too. This place will be completely destroyed, pursuant to Isaiah the 13th chapter, to destroy the whole land, and that land is America, not no goddamn Vatican City, which is 2 square miles. Basically 40 city blocks. That's 2 miles. 20 blocks is a mile. Why is the Most High gonna make a big deal about a place that's 40 blocks one way and 40 blocks the other way, which you can walk in about 25 minutes or a half an hour? This place that's going to be destroyed, Babylon the Great, is the so-called United States, America. This place is going to be wiped off the face of the earth forever. It will become the biggest desert on the planet Earth. Real talk. Isaiah 5, verse 28. And this is the mindset that you're supposed to be in, that this place is going down, man. This place will go down at the end of 2018, at the beginning of 2019. Because I see, Esau really pushing this thing in 2019. Anyway, it says in Isaiah 5 verse 28, whose arrows are sharp, and all their bows bent. The bows represent the silos, the nuclear silos. Their horses' hoofs shall be counted like flint, because the Most High is comparing these missiles, these ICBMs, to horses, because horses represent power. It says, I'll read again, Isaiah 5 verse 28, whose arrows are sharp and all their bows bent. Their horses' hoofs shall be counted like flint, and their wheels like a whirlwind. And then the whirlwind, you know, when the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, destroys this place, while these missiles are devastating this place, Babylon the Great, simultaneously you're going to have so many so-called UFOs, as Esau refers to it as, beaming up the 1/3 of Israel, or the elect of Israel. So that's going to be you can't, like I said, you can't compare what's going to happen to this system to any other time in history. This is Jeremiah 50 verse 9. And when Jeremiah the prophet received these prophecies and saw these visions and scribed them down, he didn't know it was talking about this place, Babylon the Great. All he knew that he lived during the time of the ancient pagan Babylonian Empire, and that's what he thought it was. He said, "Oh, this is talking about how ancient Babylon, or Babylon of that time, is going to be destroyed." But he didn't understand at that time. What you got to understand, the prophets did not understand what they were seeing and writing down. Their job was to just receive these visions and write them down for us to break them down in this time. This is Jeremiah 50 verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon, which, like I said, he thought that was ancient Babylon, but this is talking about America, an assembly of great nations from the north country. And there was no assembly of great nations that came against ancient pagan Babylon. It was Darius, if I'm not mistaken, who at that time what was coming in power was the Medo-Persian Empire. It started with the power of the Medes, and then the Persians became a higher, stronger power than the Medes itself. It says, and they shall set them in array against her. The her is America, Babylon the Great. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. It says in the 14th verse, Jeremiah 50 verse 14, put yourself in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows. And in Revelation 17, it tells you that her allies shall come up against her. So they're going to shoot missiles too. So ultimately, she, Babylon the Great, will have no allies. I'm going to read that again. Put Jeremiah 50 verse 14. Put yourself in array against Babylon and around about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. And how did she become a sinner against the Lord? Because Ronald Reagan, we can use that time in history, I believe it was 82, 83, he declared the Bible, I believe it was 1982. Let me see if I can find it. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, here it is. It says, President Reagan was authorized and requested to so designate 1983, it's 1983, by Public Law 97-280, Senate Joint Resolution 165, 96 Stat 1211, passed by Congress and approved on October 4th, 1982. Okay, now I click to Wikipedia. It says year of the Bible. It says in the United States, 1983 was designated as the National Year of the Bible by President Ronald Reagan by proclamation 5018 made on February 3rd, 1983 at an annual national prayer breakfast. President Reagan was authorized, and this is when you became this is a key time in history when you became a sinner, because you lifted up the Bible as as a book that you should read and learn from the Bible. So the Bible speaks about laws, statutes, and commandments. So you became a sinner, and even before that, you proclaimed yourself to be sent by God to Christianize the Native Americans. You had the Puritans, the Pilgrims, whatever you want to call them. When they came over here from Europe, they had their Bibles in tow. So I mean, if you have the whole Bible, the Old and the New Testament, there's laws in that Bible. So that made you a sinner, because you declare yourself as a Bible-believing, Bible-fearing nation, which are nothing but a bunch of hypocritical devils. And that your Christianity is being found out to be a big joke. And the Most High is gonna do something to you Christians, man. You plantation Christians. It says President Reagan was authorized and requested to so designate 1983 by Public Law 97-280. I read this already. It says the law recited that the Bible has made a unique contribution in shaping the United States, excuse me, as a distinctive and blessed nation and people, and that quoting President Jackson, which is Andrew Jackson, which is known as what do they call him, the Indian killer, which that devil, I hope I get him in slavery, because he gonna get it, man. That damn devil. It says the Bible is the rock on which our republic rests. And what that devil didn't know is that he was putting hell on the tribe of Gad and the tribe of Reuben, not knowing that they were the people of the Bible, the Israelites. It goes on to say it also acknowledged a national need to study and apply the teachings of the Holy Scriptures, meaning part of that is the law. So you were supposed to know the law. You were supposed to know not to remove your neighbor's landmark. You know, you were supposed to know to keep the Sabbath. The scriptures say in the commandments, thou shalt not kill. And that word there is murder. So you devils got a lot to pay for. I don't got to read anymore, man. You can read the rest on your own. Going back to Jeremiah 51 verse 11. Make bright the arrows, which are the missiles, ICBM. Gather the shields. Yahweh hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, which represent the Russians. And Russia is north of the land of the Medes. For his device is against Babylon, to destroy it. And Babylon, ancient Babylon, was never destroyed. The king was taken down, and Darius made Babylon a province of the Medo-Persian Empire. It says, because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. It says here in Habakkuk 3 verse 11, the sun and the moon stood still in their habitation. At the light of thine arrows they went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear. It says in Job 39, I'm sorry, I'm going to just go to Nahum 3 verse 3. It says, the horseman lifted up both the bright sword. Now Nineveh was ultimately destroyed. So when Nahum wrote down these prophecies, you know, he understood it was Nahum. That was Nineveh was going to be destroyed. But what he didn't realize, it was talking about this place. You know, Nineveh is another name for America. Babylon is another name for America. Like I said, if you don't have the codes to breaking these scriptures down, you're never going to understand it. It said the horseman lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain, and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses. So there's going to be great death in this country. Okay, I'm going to Job, the 20th chapter, and I'm going to start from this is another scripture that, you know, you should read from the first verse, read the whole chapter. Anyway, it says, Job 20 verse 22, in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits meaning hard times. And this is talking about the elite bankers, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, the Oppenheimers, all these super rich. It says there's going to be a time where they're going to start catching hell. It says every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Now, when you look up that word wicked, the word is aimal, which is H6001, which means laborer, sufferer, wretched one, laborer, workman, sufferer. So it's talking about us, toiler. And this goes hand in hand with James, the 5th chapter. You can read that from the 1st verse on down. And that's why it's important to know the Hebrew, the Greek, Aramaic, which is pretty much Hebrew. It says in the 22nd verse again, Job 20 verse 22, in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Now, every hand of the wicked are talking about the working class, the poor, the downtrodden. It says 23, when he is about to fill his belly, it speaks about his enterprise. And when it says auto, when it says annuit coeptus, meaning our enterprise will be or has been crowned with success. See, they have an agenda. Their agenda is to do away with 6.5 billion people on the planet. So there'll be a little more than 500 million on the planet Earth to enjoy the resources of the Earth. But that plan is going to backfire. 23. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So that rain is synonymous with the missiles, destroying this place. It says in the 24th verse, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. And that's code for the silos. Yeah, the glittering sword, which is an ICBM missile, cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. So anybody left in the U.S., you're done. See, the elite, they're going to escape this thing. But then we're going to grab them up, shackle them up, and they're going to go from riches to rags, from a somebody to a nobody. Pursuant to Psalms 149. It said, the heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and that's us, revealing this devil for who he is, and the earth shall rise up against him. And the hymn is talking about them. 28, the increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. So any mineral resources in this place, any riches in this place is going to be destroyed. 29. This is the portion of a wicked man, which are you Edomites, from the Most High, and the heritage appointed unto him by the Most High. I'm going to go to one more scripture. This is and you know what? I can go on for the next 2-3 hours with these scriptures. Okay, this is Revelation 9. And I'm going to start from the 15th verse. And the 4 angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. The third part of men represent you Edomites, because you have the sons of God, or the sons of the power, the sons of men, and the sons of the wicked, which are all men. Among the sons of the power, they're men. Sons of men are men, and sons of the wicked are men. So when it says the third part of men, it's talking about the sons of the wicked. It goes on to say in the 16th verse, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, which are 200 million, and I heard the number of them. So an angel shouted to John the apostle, those missiles that you're looking at represent 200 million missiles. You know, you have people teaching that this is talking about China's army. It's not talking about that. And this is not referring to men on horseback. It's talking about the missiles, and we read about that earlier in the book of Isaiah. I believe it's Isaiah 8. I'm sorry, it's Isaiah 5:28. It says, whose arrows, which are the ICBM missiles, are sharp, and all their bows bent. Their horses' hoofs shall be counted like flint, and their wheels like a whirlwind. And like I said, horses represent power. 15th verse. And the 4 angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. 16. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, which represent 200 million, and I heard the number of them. 17. And thus I saw the horses. Now what did he actually see? He actually saw ICBM missiles coming from one part of the planet to the other part of the planet. And he actually saw the missiles destroying America. And them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. And out of their mouths issued fire, smoke, and brimstone, which are the missiles, the ICBMs. By these 3 were the third part of men, with Esau, the so-called white man, part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. So when John the apostle looked up and saw these missiles, he didn't say, well, those are ICBM missiles. The only way he could describe it, he called it a serpent. He spoke about and had heads, and with them they do hurt, and their heads represent the nuclear warheads. Which in that head itself, you have multiple warheads. That's why there was another scripture I read earlier where it says these arrows are going to be scattered. It says in the 20th verse, and the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands. It's talking about you Edomites and you other nations, which we're going to go around and we're going to gather you together and we're going to shackle you up and lead you right into captivity. So that's when our kingdom starts. When we gather you devils up and you other nations. And we're going to set the planet Earth in order. That they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders. So you're not going to admit to the wickedness that you committed throughout the decades, the centuries. So we're just gonna continually beat the shit out of you until the Most High says, okay, now you're gonna gather them together and you're gonna destroy them. You're gonna burn them up, pursuant to Obadiah 1 verse 18. And I'm still waiting for Vocab Malone, that clown, to tell me when and where did the Edomites, when did Obadiah 1 verse 18 take place, and where did it take place? This clown always says, "Oh, it already took place." Well, give me the time and the place. It says, and that shows you that the devil won't admit to a goddamn thing, man. See, you don't have to admit to nothing, man. You're gonna be beat down for the next 1,000 years any goddamn way. Anyway, 21st verse again. Neither repented they of their murders, that's that pride, nor of their sorceries. And this country's, the backbone of this country is secretly is a worshiping of demons. Nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. These devils going to say, no, we never stole anything. That's why they use that term when they took down Gad and Reuben. They used the term manifest destiny. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.